Hello everyone, welcome to Inspired Choices TV, a show that brings together professionals, accomplished guests who are talking about what they have done in their lives to create and have more out of life. I am your host, Christine McIver, and I'm so excited because today is day number 1 of Inspired Choices TV. How does it get any better than that? And I have a very special guest who's going to be kicking off today's show, my very dear friend, Rhonda Burns, who has come all the way from Dallas, Texas. Rhonda, welcome to the show.
So much for having me.
I'm so glad you're here.
I wouldn't have missed it.
You just about did.
I did, but I didn't.
The plane was trying to keep her away, but we said, no, that's not going to happen. So today we are talking with Rhonda about being bodacious and what that actually means to Rhonda and to the people that she communicates with in the world. So Rhonda is an entrepreneur and she does live in Dallas, Texas, but she works with people all around the world. So Rhonda, why don't you tell all of our viewers exactly what you've done and what you do in the world and what's brought you to here today?
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. I'm in the personal development space, much like you and many of the people that we work with. I niche, if you will, or my expertise is in the intimacy and vulnerability space. Mm-hmm. So really working with people to show up in their lives with a level of presence and a level of commanding a space. It changes things dynamically. And most people aren't even able to walk into a room and understand the possibilities for them in connecting with other people. So I really work with people in connecting with others as well as themselves. So I'm also in production and have a radio show and facilitate classes and write and check with me tomorrow. We'll see what I'll be doing tomorrow.
So what does it mean to really be present?
Great question. Most people are not even with their bodies. And so when they walk into a space, they check out, or they're so busy in other people's space that when you can walk in and be with your body, and basically there are a lot of components to it, but energy, looking at people in the eye, being there in that space with people, mm-hmm. It draws people in. It magnetizes. And people, they don't know why they want to be with you, but they do. And so I have a lot of tools and techniques that I use to help people accomplish that. But people tend to get more of what they want when they're present in their lives and with other people. Does that make sense?
Yes. So what have you found? What's the percentage of people actually being present?
Less than 5.
Really? Wow.
In my experience.
So how does being present fall into being bodacious?
Can you really be bold and audacious and remarkable and extraordinary if you're not present? That would be my question. I mean, is it possible to the degree that I know is possible?
Well, I think people believe that
People believe it. But when I play with how people aren't present and then when I play with getting them present, the distinction is night and day.
Right.
And people can see the immediate results of how people respond to them, how clients show up, how money begins to show up, how new opportunities open up.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to you to be bodacious?
Having a good time. Just not really, at this stage in the game, not caring how other people might perceive me.
Okay.
And so just showing up, having a good time, functioning from joy, functioning from question, playing. People don't really realize my age because I don't act like my age, and that gets me a long way. No filters.
No filters. So when someone's being bodacious,
mm-hmm.
Does that mean that their life is easy?
No, not necessarily. But the level of ease in which they have being themselves, in any situation, you're equipped to deal with it with ease. So just because you're bodacious doesn't necessarily make it hard or easy, but it puts you in the driver's seat. It puts you in control.
So a lot of times, you're much like me. I'm an extrovert, and people will know that about me. If they know me quite well, they'll know that I'm quite an extrovert. And a lot of people will say that that's being bold.
Okay.
is being an extrovert mean you're bodacious?
That's one of the possibilities, but I know a lot of introverts who are very bold. You can still show up and be present and have a boldness to you, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an extrovert or make a lot of noise.
Right.
You can show up with a presence and an energy that is captivating, and you could be as quiet as a butterfly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I remember we were talking about this one time and somebody said, well, I'm not as outgoing as you are, Christine. And
Right.
I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. I never realized that.
Yeah.
Right. So why is it important for you to be bodacious?
I would be negating who I am. If I were not being bodacious, it would be a direct slap in the face to who I am as an individual. And my target really is just to invite people into their uniqueness.
Okay.
So whatever that is for them, not my brand, not your brand,
Right.
their brand of their personal brilliance. And it is bold in its own way in each of us.
Right.
Yeah.
So what have you found how long have you been stepping into being bodacious, being bold?
Great question. I've been denying it most of my life. I was a certain way, and then I got conditioned and chose to not be that way because it tends to be a bit much for people. Big presence, big energy,
Yes.
big structure. And then when you don't follow and be the natural essence of who you are,
Right.
it starts to manifest in ways that actually become counterproductive.
So when you were young, were you like this?
Oh, absolutely.
When you were a little girl?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember seeing a picture
Yeah.
you showed me once, and
Yeah.
you were just out there dancing
Very
on the front
gregarious,
lawn, right?
very outgoing, very playful and delightful. But the level of intensity of that energy and that presence tends to be a bit much for people. And as a child, you don't know what to do with it.
So did you find that adults around you were telling you to quiet down?
Oh, all the time.
Kind of contract.
Too much. And even if it didn't come out of their mouths, I could perceive it. Yeah.
So when did you start turning yourself down?
Oh, gosh, truth. 7, 8 years old.
And how long did that go on for?
Last 4 years. Kind of just piece by piece over the course, like many of us,
Right.
seekers, and we journey through and we explore. But I had to make a choice. And in the last 4 years, just kind of pulled that last Band-Aid off and said, let's just play and see what shows up. And life has become much more easeful. And there is a level of kindness to me now that I wasn't allowing myself.
Kindness to you?
To me. It's not kind when we don't get to be who we are.
Right. So was there a particular event that occurred that had you say enough?
Yes. My son was born in 2005, and I was still married at the time. And after he was born, I was standing there one morning and thought, if this is all there is, I don't want to be here anymore. So I had the cars and the house and the money in the bank and the husband and the kid and and it just didn't do it for me. So I really did have to dig deep and explore what else was out there that I thought I was missing. And sure enough, there was a lot that I was missing. And most of it was me.
You were missing from you.
Yeah, I was in the computation of my life, yeah.
So if we wanted to invite people into being bodacious, to being themselves, what are some of the steps that you suggest to your clients?
I think first and foremost is inviting people to start breathing. Most of us hold our breaths. So just to really just take a few minutes just to start to breathe and to get connected with our bodies. And to start to notice their surroundings, to ask, am I here? I mean, yes, we're physically sitting here, but many of us are doing the laundry list at home, or we're doing the groceries, or the
worrying
kids
about the new cameras.
worrying about everything. But it's like being present in the moment. And sometimes it's as much as just counting in your head. 1, 2, just counting, getting present. That's the first place to start. And then just to start asking, okay, what would actually be fun for me? What is something that I would actually enjoy doing or going? Somebody that I'd like to spend time with. Just start to ask and build. It's a process. So those would be the first things I'd start with.
So tell us some of the fun things that you like to do.
Where is this going to be broadcast?
It is a little peachy.
So we'll keep this family style. I love to travel. I really do love to travel. I love to play with playmates who are willing to just explore and be curious and adventurous. I enjoy playing with bodies. So I am a hands-on body worker, an intuitive wellness facilitator is what you would call that. And so those are some of the things I enjoy. I enjoy movie. I'm a writer. I write, not yet published.
So you're in the works?
I'm in the works, and I love just connecting with people, communicating with people.
Right.
So those are some of the things I really enjoy.
So what are some of the favorite places you've traveled to?
Venice. Yes, we got to play in a class in Venice, and I've been...
Yeah, that was very interesting.
That was
so
very
we were
interesting.
both in the class, but we never spoke.
Yes,
we never
met physically after that. Yes. I've been to Australia, I've been to Mexico, I love the Vancouver area. And this is my first visit to Toronto, so I'm excited to learn. It may be on my favorites list. Well, it is because you're here.
I paid her to say that. So if you wanted to even step out even more, what are some of the plans that you are creating to stepping out even more, being even more bold in your life?
Oh, great question. I've actually hired somebody. I work with a coach. So any great coach or entrepreneur, we're always seeking those who have expertise that may be beyond our skill set and who invite us and sometimes pull us along because you have to identify what you want. And so I've identified what I want. And so I've hired somebody, and I'm working with somebody who's helping me create that. I am, like I said, the radio. I desire to be facilitating bigger events because I like to work with a lot of people at one time. And it's something I do really dynamically and I enjoy. So that's really a target of mine, is to work with bigger groups in a room and facilitate and invite them to more. So,
wonderful.
Yeah.
So Rhonda has a radio show called...
Potency is my game.
Potency is my game. I'm like, she calls herself Rock and Rhonda, so that's what came to my head first of all. So potency is my game, and Rhonda is extremely potent. And sometimes when she's actually facilitating with you or coaching you, it's like, oh goodness, plant your feet, because it comes pretty strong.
Yeah.
But it's always wrapped up with a lot of awareness and a lot of kindness and
no judgment.
Right. Yeah. And how have you found your clients responding to you being bodacious?
They enjoy it because there is the authenticity, the genuine. They know that my desire is not to feed them a bill of goods, to not give them something that isn't theirs. It's just to kind of help them scrape off the layers that have been built up and to help them get to the natural essence of who they are. And so when I show up and just be genuine and playful and be me, people know that. They respond to that.
They respond
yes,
to that.
Absolutely.
So what's the one biggest thing or the few things that you're finding that people are having a hard time with in getting to be them and being present?
Great question. There's a lot. Choosing. Identifying that they would like something to be different, because we have so many fears about how it might show up, what they might lose, what they might gain. There's all this mind play in the way.
Right.
Where if people were just to say, I'd like something different, okay, who can help me with that?
Right.
And to start to tap in. And most people don't think they know how to trust themselves, but when something clicks, people choose it.
Right.
They're like, I want to know you, or I want to buy from you, or I want that product. So beginning to trust themselves.
Trust themselves.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me in that was it's that gut instinct immediately, like, yes, I'm choosing this.
Yeah.
When I started with radio, which was 4 years ago, I had no idea how it was going to look. I had no idea how to do radio, but there was just this instantaneous, and 4 years later, I own the radio station, and it's exciting. And to me, it's so simple. And then when I was actually invited by Priya Ali, who is the owner of 365 TV Network, to have a TV show, I immediately said yes, and then just about choked because I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? And you have this knowing, and sometimes you'll choose it again. There was one time that I absolutely knew I had to do skydiving. I absolutely, positively had to do it. Done. Not doing that again.
One and done.
One and done. Did you go skydiving?
I did.
I didn't know that.
I loved it.
It was fun.
I don't need to do it again.
We have the video to prove it, right? But then there are those moments where you just know without a cognitive knowledge of what it's going to look like or what it's going to lead to. And for me, that's been the most exciting and sometimes nerve-wracking thing. But yet, it's like a child going on a scavenger hunt.
Right.
It's like you don't know what's there and you don't know what's there. And that, for me, is being bold and bodacious. It's really stepping into what turns you on.
Absolutely.
And continuing to choose it without having the whole map. Because Having the whole map is really boring.
It is, and yet that's how we're raised, is to know the how. So most people will not take a step if they can't see the next step and the path and the end result. And that's where we stop ourselves. So if we are willing to identify what we want to play with or try, we usually don't know the how. But if it's the yes, like I want to try this, be willing to trust that, we are supported. We are always supported in that.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy that you came today.
I'm so grateful
this is so exciting. So the Being Bodacious, so you and I have created a movement called BIG Living, and it's really about stepping into living your life and your business and creating it in a big, bodacious way. Absolutely. So do you want to explain to everyone what that looks like for us?
Yeah, BIG is Bodacious Invitation to Greatness, and it is that invitation to you being more of you in your own life, in your own way. And we have put together, and we'll be continuing to put together, some ideas, some classwork, some home play, so that you can actually kind of have a coursework, if you will, in how to do more of that, to show up in your own life. And what's different about it is our energy infusion, the way we show up. We take the gloves off, we show up playfully, and yet we have a level of presence, and we command the space of, I'm having this. I don't know how, but I'm having this. And we teach and show others how to be more of that for themselves.
Well, we're being it.
Why we're being.
And what I've really loved about this experience in creating with you is that it's not scripted.
Nothing is ever scripted.
We do have an outline and we do have targets, but we're really, whoever shows up, we're really present with them and what it is that they desire to change and what's blocking them, which I think is very different. In this reality, when you go out and you purchase a program, it's pretty much a boxed program.
Absolutely.
They can tell you exactly what they're going to cover, and that's about all that they're going to cover. And you and I, in the first programs that we've done, have gone into completely different directions. We had no idea we're going to go.
Yeah. And we become that open source. Like, we are pulling from the people that are in the class, as well as beyond that, what's required in that moment for those particular people. So we actually it's a tailor-made, that's the way I would identify it. It's tailor-made based on what's showing up in that moment. Based on the outline, we stay within the walls of that. But it is very, very unique.
So what was your personal experience of our BIG Living?
It was amazing. And it just showed me that I am really good at what I do, and that's doing my own work.
That's being bodacious. I love that.
But from a space of looking at what worked, looking at what didn't work as well, looking at the people that were in it, asking for feedback. What did you guys think? What did you get out of it? Really willing to identify. And it felt good. And so for me, when things feel good, I'll keep doing more of that until it doesn't feel good anymore.
So you don't choose based on this reality's judgments or how you're supposed to do business? Pardon?
I've tried sometimes, but it doesn't actually work. It doesn't actually work for me. That may work for a lot of people. I'm identifying.
So what's that
very
created
clearly.
for you?
The ability to breathe, the ability to enjoy every moment, the ability to put things together on the fly, the ability to put something in place and have it coast really well because it wants to be in the world, and it's come together with a level of what's required in the moment, and I don't have to keep feeding it, if you will, if that makes sense. So it's just created ease and enjoyment in my life and my business.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is it that you're looking to create coming forward? Now, I know you have a couple of other programs that you're working on with a friend of ours, Keisha Clark.
Right. I do. We are going to be kicking off in May weekly broadcast based on, it's basically called Sexually Speaking. And we have some very different points of view and knowing about sex, sexualness, sexuality, bodies, those type things. And we're just going to be having weekly conversations about what we know and inviting people to get out of being hung up around the subject of sex. That's really our target. And we enjoy it, and it's really easy for us to talk about it. So we'll be kicking that off in May. Which
is very unusual for a lot of people to have ease talking about sex.
Oh, sex and money are probably the two biggest for people.
Right.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's okay. It is now. You said it. So there's another program that you are both on with Charlinda.
Yes, that kicks off April 19th. It's 10 days of, and our topic is called Having Sex with the Universe. And each day we break down and provide a video and some questions in home play talking about embodiment, basically. Sex with the molecules, with your body, with food, what that looks like. And again, it's not the physical act of putting body parts together. It's about being present and in communion with all things. Yeah,
fantastic. Very
different.
Wonderful. That's
Thank
fantastic. You. So I have 5 questions that I'd like to ask you.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. Okay, bring it.
And so Rhonda has no idea what these questions are, so they should be fun. So what is your favorite inspirational quote, and how has it influenced you in your life?
Okay, you're going to find for me, I don't remember a lot very easily because I'm so, open. The one that's coming to mind is Wayne Dyer said, what other people think of you is none of your business. That has really saved me quite a bit because I'm so aware of other people's thoughts and points of view and judgments. And I used to get really wrapped up in what people thought of me and cared about, do they like me, all of that. And that just did not bode well for me. So that has been a really key one for me. What other
Wonderful.
people think of me is none of my business.
Wonderful. And a lot of people take that as if you're being rude.
No.
But it's really about looking at yourself and not being concerned with other people's judgments.
Right, because we're so concerned with other people that we don't actually get to be ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what inspires you to get out of bed in the morning?
You.
Okay, we don't sleep together, just so we're clear.
The possibilities of connecting with new people who are ready for something different. And the ability to potentially play and impact something different in their lives, because I've had a lot of people do that for me in my life, and I do desire to contribute in that way.
Wonderful. And you do, by the way.
Thank you.
So what has been the most surprising thing that you have chosen in your life?
Oh, wow. What's been the most surprising? Choosing to leave, I'm twice divorced, choosing to leave both my marriages. They were big choices at the time. They were very difficult choices. Looking back, and I've written a chapter in an upcoming book that we're going to be in, it taught me a lot. It showed me a lot. Surprised the heck out of me. And I don't have any regrets now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what is your greatest secret to creating the life you have?
What is the greatest secret? Oh, wow. I don't know if I have an answer for that. What is the greatest secret? Oh, I'm not really good at keeping secrets.
That's your secret?
So I don't really, hashtag no filter, really.
That's true.
Can we come back to that if necessary?
Absolutely. So what name, other than the one you own, would you like to be called by?
Your Highness.
I love that. Okay, so do I have to start calling you that?
After 5.
Okay, awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. So what would you like to leave our viewers with? What final thoughts about being bodacious and showing up in their lives? What would you like to leave them with?
Thank you. That's a great question. I would just invite everyone who might hear this to know that there are a lot of projections in the world. There are lots of judgments and decisions and conclusions of what things have to be like, what it has to look or sound like. That's all just noise. And I think it's really important to get really clear on who you are. And when you can find who you are, all the other noise, it does become very low muted background noise, and you get to start to chart the course for what would actually work for you. And it may take a little work in the process, but it is so worth it. Your friendships get richer. Your bank account gets, in my opinion, it gets better. Life just gets richer and juicier and more enjoyable. And I don't know about you, but I like enjoyable things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do. So where can people connect with you, Rhonda?
Rhonda-Burns.com is probably the quickest. RHONDA-BURNS.com. I'm also on the A to Zen FM. I have a host page there. Potency is my game. Those are probably the easiest ways to reach me. Website, yeah.
Right.
And then email is rhonda@rhonda-burns.com.
And you're on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook. I have a professional page. I'm currently rebranding, so everything is going to be different in the next few months. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Ooh, you never know what's going to show up.
Thank you so much for being here today. It's been so much fun, and I wonder what we're going to create in the future.
So grateful. Thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
Congratulations on your new
Thank you.
endeavor.
A new baby.
Yeah.
So everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. If you're looking to step up your life, have more joy, have more pleasure, consider what Rhonda shared with us today about being bodacious, really looking to what it is that you desire and not being concerned with what other people think. You know, most people aren't even thinking about you. We just think they are. So please come back, come play with us each week here on Inspired Choices TV, where we're going to be bringing more guests who are going to show you and share with you how they've created their life greater than they've ever imagined. Thank you.